and it will probably open on the other window. Actually, it did not. So this content is for educational purposes only. Please read the 4 points below before you proceed. If you want to use this knowledge, please be aware only to use it on your own possessions. Do not hack anyone, that is illegal and you can go to jail. So we're going to talk about mousejacking now, and mousejacking is basically a thing that occurs when you have a vulnerable dongle. So I'm going to go ahead and isolate that. So this is the dongle itself that is attached to the wireless mouse. This also works for wireless keyboards and potentially other wireless devices. Now, the program that I'm talking about that is created by Bastille, how are you going to pronounce that, basically tested this with wireless mouse and wireless keyboards. The dongle itself, which is inside the mouse, now I have a mouse right here. It's actually the exact same mouse that is on the picture you have on the screen. Now inside that mouse, we have a small dongle, right? And that small dongle is what I talk about is vulnerable. Many of them today are still vulnerable. Now, awareness tells us that new production-ready devices are safe. Well, that is not 100% true, because some of them are still vulnerable, and the reason for that is that the same device still uses the same small chip that is vulnerable on the device. Now, that small chip is then injectable to code directly from something like, let's say, this crazy radio right here. And this is just a small radio, and I also have that just here at my computer board. Let me just take it out. This is the crazy radio. It's the exact same thing that you see on, let me just fold the antenna down so you can see the exact same thing. This is the exact same thing that you see on the screen. The crazy radio can intercept radio signals on the frequency that is sent on the mouse. And by detecting the vulnerable device, well, we can try and inject directly on it. Now, when I say detecting vulnerable device, it should probably just be detecting the device. So at least with the crazy radio itself, we can detect whether there is a wireless device in the vicinity of us. And the only thing that needs to be used. So some sort of signal needs to be transferred through from the mouse to the dongle. Then we can detect it, and basically we can inject commands directly into the computer. This is a security flaw which is in the protocol of the dongle itself. Now, the dongles can be, well, not the crazy radio, but the dongle and the mouse, of course, can be updated, of course, and the firmware can be updated. But what we see these days is basically that 90 to 99% of the companies that are tested for this kind of vulnerabilities still have this vulnerability. With the new world, where people can go ahead and buy a Flipper Zero, for example, and just buy a NFC wireless something extension board to that through the GPU I/O pins, well, basically that's it. And then you need to download some software. But the Flipper Zero, most of it is made to be too easy. The thing I'm going to show today in this video is basically going to be the advanced professional way. The Flipper Zero way is more like the playground way. I'm not, no discrimination towards Flipper Zero, it's a great device, but it is not the best thing on the market to do the things it does. It is just the best small thing at the moment you can get. They can do different kind of things in the same area. So let's talk about exactly how I'm doing this and how I inject commands. So what we see here is actually my Linux Ubuntu VMware running, and you can see that I have my mouse right here. I don't feel need to hide anything, because this is just exactly the thing that I feel the industry is doing. They are hiding away the truth. So this is a Logitech mouse in this particular case. I'm not saying Logitech is the brand that is vulnerable. I'm just saying that in this particular case, I'm using the Logitech mouse that I have on my computer. The dongle is already inserted, and the mouse right here is also, as you can see, the cursor is moving depending on how I move the mouse. My hand, of course. And also have my normal mouse connected, which I use right now, which is the normal wired mouse I use. Now, this wireless mouse is the one you see right here. And when I detect that through the software, now I went ahead and installed everything. I want to be completely honest with you. It did take a while to get stuff installed and to work, because there's so many dependencies I didn't have on this Ubuntu machine. And you also needed to do it with, I think it's Python 2.7. So you need to downgrade your pip installer to Python 2.7. And there are so many things you need to do. The overall installation is basically very simple, and you can find stuff in the description below, links and the commands used to install the overall script. But the general, bug finding of not having this and that dependency is something you have to do on your own, because it's very individually on every single machine. So I cannot really provide any guidance towards that. My best advice to you is to probably use ChatGPT and just ask it, well, how can I install this, or paste the error. It will be greatly helpful for you. I use that actually, and I want to be happy and say thank you, OpenAI. All right, so what we see here is basically the scanning itself, and you can see I have a successful attack, all attacks completed, sending the attack to the mouse. And what the attack does in this particular case is executing something called DocuScript. Now, DocuScript is something that you can go ahead and find if you got yourself a rubber ducky. Yeah, and I do have a rubber ducky. And I have I think it's not the latest version, but I don't really care much about that. It's still a rubber ducky. And the rubber ducky itself is executing something called DocuScript. And DocuScript looks like some sort of old school basic code that can do actually very many things directly on the Windows computer. You can also execute code directly on your Mac or your Linux. It doesn't really matter. In this particular case, if the mouse dongle is vulnerable, no matter what operating system you're using, the injection can happen on that particular operating system. It's just a matter of what you put inside the script. So let's do it backwards in this particular case and talk about how does this script actually look like. Now inside I have a small script called test.txt, which is the actual script that is being injected when the vulnerable mouse is injected by the signals that I sent to it through the crazy radio. In this particular case, I do send some sort of delay, 5-second delay. GUI is the command that you're going to press something on the keyboard. In this particular case, it's going to be the Windows R key. So that's going to open up the normal command prompt. You can type commands in to further, execute stuff. When I say command prompt, I'm not referring to the black terminal you have in Windows. Let me just show you what I mean with that. So this is the actual normal terminal. When I mean the command prompt, I mean the one. Let me see if I can trigger it here on my VM. I mean this one right here. So that is the run or command prompt, what I'm gonna call it. Difficult to call something that you all say the same, so let's just call the run or the command prompt for now. So this is gonna be open now. We're gonna wait a tenth of a second, 100 milliseconds. We will type in, this is the way of typing, string, the word notepad, delays, press enter, open the program, delay again, and the string we type directly into notepad. Now this is a very, very sweet little thing. It doesn't do anything basically. And it just writes hello world. That could be many different things. Now, I want you to remember that I'm not here to show you how to do real exploit hacking on stuff that is real like that. On try hacking and stuff like that, that is fine, but in this particular case, it can be quite vulnerable. So I want to be 100% sure that this is only an ethical demonstration that I give you right now to how serious this vulnerability can actually be. I want to be 100% strict right now. If I were you, I would totally think about not using wireless stuff in your company and at home. I would go back to cable. You can do that, or you can hire a security professional to test your devices and see whether it is vulnerable or not. Well, that's going to be quite expensive for you, but hey, if you want the wireless stuff, you gotta get it tested, boy, okay? So, this is just opening the notepad, writing hello world. It could be many other things. It could be malware installation. It could be, well, reverse shell, executing all commands, whatever. Extraction of passwords, you know, installation of, let's say, something more serious than malware. Let's do ransomware, for example. You know, all these different kind of things are possible with this kind of exploit. And you can do nothing about it. Literally, you can do nothing about it. You are just game over if you have this device. And I want to be explicit right now. This is a very serious video. I'm not doing this for entertainment purposes. I'm doing this for awareness purposes. And I feel that YouTube is going to be a channel that can get this out to the audience. You know, I know many people created this kind of video before, but I'm going to give it another shot. I'm going to give it a very fresh shot, and I'll be very serious about this. So, now that we have this, well, laid down, and we have this command, this is the way you can do it. And you're going to think about this way. This can be executed with a speed of around 1,000 characters per second. That is the protocol speed, and that is quite fast. Let's go ahead and exit out of this. What you're going to go ahead and do now is to basically say, well, I'm going to turn on the crazy USB. You probably heard the sound of Windows say dun, and I'm going to go ahead and run this script right here. It is called jackit. Jack is deriving from the word hijacking. So we are hijacking the mouse signal itself. We are saying it's going to hijack the signal and send the script test. So what I'm going to do right now, and because I cannot record both screens at the same time, is I'm going to show you how to execute the script, and you will see what happens. Okay, so just a word of caution now. The script itself is a bit buggy. And it's because it's been developed from many years ago. It's like 8-9 years ago it was developed. So it's only created to run once, twice. Then need to reboot your crazy radio, take it in and take it out of the USB stick in order to get it, you know, working again. So if it does not work properly, then you have to just take it in and out. So we're gonna see now, and I'm gonna write my very safe password here. So we need to have make sure you have a preloaded firmware. Cannot find it, so okay, let's just put it back. I didn't do that correctly. There we go. I think it's popping up like this, and you want to connect it to your virtual machine, the Ubuntu in the particular case here. Yes, because I have multiple virtual machines, so when you connect that, it will ask where to connect it to. So please connect it to the machine you have for your testing. So I'm gonna start the script right now, and this is how it looks. Now I will take the wireless mouse and move it around a bit. Whoops. Yep. There we go. Now I will take the wireless mouse and move it around a bit. Click it, and you can see that it's moving on my screen. And at some point, it will be detected like that. When it's detected like that, what you can do right now is just press Control C, select the target, and because I want to be 100% straight with you now, because my focus with the mouse is on the VM and I'm executing Windows commands, this is not going to be executed on Windows, it's going to be executed in the VM. So what I need to do is, from the delay of 5 seconds, click on my process bar below Windows to change the focus back to Windows. This is not going to be a problem in offices because people are not running VMs like this. Press 1, and I'm pressed down here. And now the attack will happen, and the overall notepad opened on the other screen. And maybe I should just show you again how it would look. So we're back again, and we're gonna run the script as a second time, and everything should be settled right now. Let me just be ready to, and I think that it will open on the other side, my other screen, but let's just one more time open this. I'm gonna click the wireless mouse one more time, and it will start scanning the vicinity. The range of this device is some 100 meters. I don't know exactly how much it is, but okay. So now that we have the mouse, we can go ahead and press Control C, and we detected it. Now I'm gonna see if I can just briefly get my, there we go. So, okay, let's see if we can get this. So I'm gonna press 1 and attack, go back in Windows, and it will probably open on the other window. Actually, it did not, so we're lucky. So as you can see, we just opened the notepad. Everything went pretty fast. We, well, officially hacked my own machine, and this is how serious it's gonna be. Now, in order to make this a bit more friendly towards the ethical awareness of this, I'm gonna be 100% focused on the fact that this is an awareness video, and I'm not gonna teach you how to do this in reality. But if you want to search it out, you know, or basically look at how things are done or test it out for yourself, I do provide the actual link to the articles in the description below. And I do not condone in any way to go ahead and do this, and this is not a tutorial in any way. It is me showing how serious this can be, and I just showed you I execute directly commands on the Windows machine. And you know, commands executed on the Windows machine is executed with the same system rights as the ones we have as the user on the machine running. So, I want to say, be aware of the things you connect to your computer. It is not a playground of fun and gadgets. It is a playground for hackers. And I want to be 100% serious about this. I was not aware how much of an issue this was, let's say, last year. It's something that just came to my attention because of I shift my focus from servers and stuff to radio signals, and you have to have some sort of focus in some way, and my focus shifts sometimes to different kind of things, and I want to say this is quite serious. This is almost like a rubber ducky without, and listen to me again, without the actual physical connection. You can be anywhere and execute this. As a user of the wireless device, you can do nothing about it. The only thing you can hope is that when the window open below, small command script, whatever I call it here again, the run window, it's gonna type something really fast here. If you can press cancel fast enough, which I think you cannot, because you will just be, oh, what was that, right? Who says you were looking? Then maybe. But when a hacker does this, they don't really care. They just want one. And maybe you can do other things like that. Maybe they can force you to, let's say, click something. You can do many different things. You can open up a fake Windows updater screen, and so on, and execute commands behind it. I'm just saying that there are so many things that can be done with this, that the potential is great, and it's quite scary. So basically, I want to say for now, stay safe out there and don't go around and hacking anyone. That is quite illegal. Please subscribe to my channel, comment and like the video if you felt you learned something today. And if you have any questions, just leave the comment below. I'm going to get back to you as fast as I can. See you.